Females got a lot of power, and you can change a person's life, but you gotta be strong too.
Welcome to More Than an Inmate's Girlfriend. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get into this week's episode, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit. For those of you that are new, we've had quite a few more listeners lately, so just want to give you a little recap about what we do. My name's Jay. I have a partner in crime named AJ, and we basically started this podcast to kind of showcase the other side of incarceration. AJ and I ended up in relationships with men that are incarcerated. My husband, my now husband, is serving a life sentence for felony murder. AJ's boyfriend is serving a lengthy sentence. And we just saw so much negativity around these relationships, and we decided that we wanted to do things a little bit differently. Start a podcast where we can start to destigmatize these relationships. But just because we're trying to destigmatize them does not mean that they are always easy. And I'm definitely having a week this week. And sometimes it feels very heavy and it feels very hard. So if you're going through anything like that, let me tell you, so am I. And we are feeling it for sure. Anyways, to this episode, I don't want to dampen this episode so much because this is King Guru's episode. King Guru is someone that I don't know how we got a hold of him. I'm not sure how that happened, but he's an author. He's an incarcerated author, and he's been down for like 20 years total, like over 20 years through all his sentences. He actually got a life without parole sentence in California from a cold case that was cold for like 10 years. And then they extradited him from another state, brought him in. Anyway, whole story. But he's joining us today. He's written a lot of books and he's hilarious. He makes me laugh so much, and he's genuine and he's real. So with that, I need to express, please do not listen to this episode around your children. The content is explicit. The way that he speaks is explicit. The man has been incarcerated for a very long time, and he has a lot of really interesting things to say. He's also very down to earth and not afraid of expressing himself. Like, he's just, this is who I am, and he shares his knowledge. You know, he'll talk about the way it really is serving life without parole. But also, this man has built himself up. Like, he is doing very well for himself. King Guru, ask your loved ones that are incarcerated. Most people will know the name Mike and Amigo and King Guru. Mike and Amigo started, a big kind of movement. He's a big incarcerated author, and he brought King Guru along with him. So they were together from pretty much the beginning, and he's done really well for himself, starting with nothing. The man started with nothing, and now he's doing really, really well. So I think it's really neat from all different perspectives. But I need to reiterate, explicit content, okay? The man swears a lot, and I don't want to take any of it out. The other thing I want to mention is that the connection is sometimes off. So we've adjusted the audio as much as we can to capture as much of the conversation as we can, but understand that the audio is not great. And I want to give you that warning. The audio is not great, but everything he says is so worth listening to, that audio. Although it was probably one of the hardest edits we've ever done. AJ and I passed it back and forth quite a bit. Totally worth every second. And I was telling her the other day, like, yes, it's been so much work to do this, but at the same time, I'm so glad that it's his episode because he's so funny and so entertaining that it was a breeze to listen to. I really enjoyed listening to him, and I really respect him a lot as a man, and I really respect his perspective. So I'm really excited to finally get to share this episode with you. We've had it for quite a while as well. We're getting through all the episodes that we have recorded a long time ago, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Please continue to follow, share, and like, and please, AJ would love it if you followed her on Instagram. She is working overtime on that Instagram, and she is so excited every day she wakes up and there's followers. So please, if you can, follow her on Instagram at podcast_prisongf. AJ does all of the social media. She is amazing. I don't know what I would do without her. She also does all the connections with the guests. So if you have any questions or anything, reach out to us on social media. AJ will get back to you most likely. So with that, please feel free, message us. Also, she opened a TikTok so that we can go live together. So I went live last week with Official. That was so awesome. I'm so grateful for her that she even took the time out of her weekend. She was traveling to come do a live with me. And although there was some technical difficulties because I don't know how TikTok works, it turned out really nice and really good. And I'm super, super grateful for her, because oftentimes you find people with more followers, I don't know how to say it, like get bougie almost, like entitled. I don't know. But yeah, she has a lot of followers, and she graciously let me join her live so that we could talk about the episode. Yeah, we will be doing more lives. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to leave you alone. I've spoken enough. Again, do not listen to this episode with your children, and the audio is not perfect. I apologize in advance. Don't forget, we are winding down. We have another month and a half left, and then we're going to take the summer off, get a break, rejuvenate, and start back in September. So yeah, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing this, and we just appreciate your support so much. So I will let you go and let you be, and enjoy Mr. King Guru. Welcome, King Guru. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to speak to you.
Man, what's happening? I'm excited to speak to you too. I'm over here smiling and shit. This is fun.
Yes, this is going to be so much fun. I know who you are. My husband is a huge fan of yours. But for those that don't know you, can you kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
All right. Okay, my pen name is King Guru. I'm from Sacramento, California, so it's like a play off the whole Sacramento King thing. But yeah, I've been writing books for about a decade now. I got a little magazine company. I'm really an entrepreneur. But people might know me by my book. Oh, and I got a lot of issues too, if you want to know. If you're dealing with King Guru, my publisher has always gotten letters because they be like, oh, you're teaching inmates how to like women. But it's really not like that. I'll be trying to help people learn to communicate with the opposite sex, because we be locked up so long, and you guys don't realize people forget how to talk to females. I've seen dudes freeze up. They get a little pen pal, and it's good. They can write letters. Letters are beautiful, but put them on the phone with like a random female, people freeze up.
So you're trying to help them. You're not trying to scam us.
Yeah, no. Nobody's trying to scam nobody personally. As far as we talking about scamming people, I just learned over the years it's better to just be real. Just come at you and just be honest. But that leads to other things too. You can't always be honest. I could cover that later.
I'm curious, were you always an entrepreneur like that, or did that develop while you were incarcerated?
I've been selling dope since I was like 13 years old. So to me, that's an entrepreneur. I think for my first pair of Jordans, I think I was maybe 19 years old. It's my mom to buy no shit like that. I used to always just help mom. She was a housekeeper. So I would help her do the bills, write down how much shit is worth. So I think that all of that made me appreciate it. And then when I got as an adult, I was a juvenile delinquent. For my 13th birthday, I asked mom. She said, what you want? I said, I want some weed. I want to sell some weed. And she went and got me some shit up. So I've been doing that. I've been in dope like my whole life. And then even when I was out, I wrote a little something, but it never really got published. And at the beginning of my lockup, no. I depended on my baby mamas. I depended on family. I asked about the entrepreneurship. I think it's in me, and I respect it there.
You said that you did write a little bit before you were incarcerated?
Created a file, and I was writing a little bit. I read books out there. I was in Tennessee. I had a little trap out there. I remember going to the library and getting a book and then reading that shit on the porch when I'm selling dope.
So you started writing when you weren't incarcerated. And then what made you start writing again when you were in prison?
All right, real talk. I did some time in other states and shit. And then every time I finished my time, they would extradite me to another state. By the time I was finished, I did about 7 years. California came and arrested me on a cold case that happened. I think they came and got me like a decade after the fact. Got extradited back to California. I had been gone for like some years. I've been gone for like 9 years or something like that, right? My first baby mama show up at the court. She got my son with me, and I hadn't seen him like the whole time. So he starts visiting me, and he's probably about 12 years old at the time. I could see his little dress. I could see his little clothing and shit. And then he started asking me about gang-related shit. And I'm looking at him like, oh, no. Like, I already seen it. Hold on, you giving me a little teary-eyed because I love my little nigga. So he started asking them questions, and I knew I can't stop him. Right? So my mentality was, I'm going to give him the game. Nicola Machiavelli was a writer. He wrote a book called The Prince. Man, that shit deep. You read that book, it's like game. It's game on a whole level from like kings and queens. And like he said, you could take the majority of the people's shit, but you got to leave some of the people with money. You got to leave them theirs so they can control the others. And he would just say shit like that they don't want to tell you. I was looking at my son. I'm like, man, I'm finna write him a book like that. I just wrote it. And that's my classic, actually. That book ended up being called Hustling with Sex, Money, Murder Edition. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a big journey before it became an actual book. Because when I met Mike, that's my bro, TCB, man, the Cell Block, man. Visit thecellblock.net, man. www.thecellblock.net. Visit him, man. That's where all our shit is at. But when I met Mike, man, he was already full. But I somehow, like, one of my big homies got me to go talk with him. And, like, he said, after that one lap, I'll take all your books, go, all of them. Let me see what you got. Wow. But I'm telling you, I'm going to take them. I'm like, all right, he didn't even read them. Yeah, so when he read it, written on paper, just notebook paper. So when he read How to Hustle, this is a funny trip off this, right? Mm-hmm. When he read it, he's like, I love it. This shit is raw, but it's too raw. Everything about it was just straight criminal aspects, right? Yeah. So he said, man, what do you think about this, man? Commercializing it a little bit. And then he gave me information, right? And then I went and added more shit, revised it. He taught me to don't want to give him too much street. You don't want to give him too much gutter. Like, man, that ended up being my classic. How to Hustle and Win Sex, Money, Murder Edition. It's still my #1 seller. So
you actually met Mike Enemigo, like, in person?
I was like in the cell right next door to him. When TCB first started, we was on typewriters, man. And I didn't have shit. I wasn't begging for shit. I'm just me. I had just got out of the shoe, got introduced to him, and we used to be in the event together, just typing, doing articles, doing stories. So, yeah, we was on one, man. We was on one.
And my husband was wondering about Josh Kruger. He said that you guys also know him.
Yeah, Josh, man. I know exactly about that. Just that time when all we had was typewriters, you could barely use the phone. We had no tablets back then. You could get the phone 3 times a week. All you had was letters and a motherfucking typewriter, man. And Mike was in there networking. See, that's what he do, network. I'm a writer. He gave me this one book. It's called The Millionaire Prisoner. That's by Josh Kruger. And I was like, oh, I think everybody that's locked up should read this book because he gives you game. He took it to, like, as poor as you could be and as most productive as you could be. I just love that book. I use some of his shit today. Nah, I be splurging too much. I used to take his advice, and now I'm just like, man, I just bought a Rolex. Like, I'm so happy about that. I just got me a submarine.
You're doing just fine.
Yeah, no, it's good.
That's good.
Now, when I'm telling you, I had 4 suits on my locker. And I always say that because I remember Mike was like, hey, I just got stored. And he's like, you need something? And I was like, no, I'm good. And he knew I needed something, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, my pride was too much. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I will never forget it. I will never forget it because now I'm in a whole different position, man. I'm helping family members. Yeah. I'm doing shit behind the scenes that motherfuckers have no idea. And it's because of this. It's because it was hard work. And none of it came easy. This shit takes a long time. Like, our first royalty checks, man, them motherfuckers was like $18, $12. For a long time, the royalties was low, but we stuck it. It was like 5 years went by before we started getting real money. And then we started getting real money.
How did that feel to be able to tell your son, like, I did this and I did this legit?
Another thing about me writing, I got Life Without Parole. And my kids were young. I got 5 kids. I got 5 baby mamas. They was young and they was spread out across the country. So I didn't want, the only thing they could say is they dad got a life sentence. I wanted them to say something positive. So that was another thing I forgot to tell you. Me writing these books was not even about the money at first. Yeah. On God, it wasn't. So I do get to talk to them. And this is a trip, though. They don't want to talk about this shit, right? But I'll talk to their mothers or something, right? The youngest son carries that book everywhere he goes. Aww. He really brags about you. Yeah, they don't tell me, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But conversations have come out where they proud, and I like that because, you know, one of my baby girl was born while I was in prison. So her whole life I was gone. This is good that you could do something positive like that. And they really like it when they get to asking me for money and I can give it to them.
Okay, so 5 baby mamas. So tell me, before we get into you writing about women liking bad boys, what were your relationships like before you were incarcerated?
Damn. Okay. And you know what, man? I'm an open book, man, for real. I was an asshole. I was the worst man that anybody could be. I was a womanizer. Okay, I always feel like it's better for somebody else to tell you than the person because it just comes out better when somebody else. But you guys just got to trust me that this interview is going to be 1,000% real. So I'm going to be honest with you. I treated them all bad. I had my own issues growing up, but I was always an earner. And I was always real. I was always honest. You know how guys, have you ever been in a relationship, or anybody out there, like you might have been in a relationship where you know your man is cheating. Females got that sixth sense, it's called intuition. You guys know when you're being cheated on, but the nigga's going to tell you no. He's not going to admit to nothing. And then, since you really got feelings for him, you're going to try to look at it his way. You're going to try to give him all benefit of the doubt. So then now you start thinking you're crazy. Now he's making you think you crazy. And that's fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's something I never did. But later on, that becomes a problem, though. Because you want to be real with the females, but sometimes guys, they might not, well, if they're real or they honest, you know what I'm saying? Because I have a problem lying to people. So I be saying stupid ass shit, and the females, man, they're not having it. Y'all not having a nigga talking to somebody else, even if you locked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Prison wise understand that it's not. It just happened to me. But I was like, man, I'm not all about sex at all. Like, if that's just your goal, oh yeah, and I'm gonna keep it gutter, man. All you prison wise out there, yeah, King Guru about to say this, man. Stop the tracks, turn everything down, and listen. I don't give a fuck. Y'all be cheating, telling you. And I'm not talking about niggas out there. I'm talking about, this is what I learned. A lot of prison wives, this becomes their dating pool. They'll talk to other inmates, especially these females that be on social media looking for niggas with cell phones. I know some prison housewives that's like use that hashtag, and I was like, damn. When her man was in the hole, she was talking to me. I know what her bedroom looked like and everything, but it's no pressure. I don't got no problem with it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to let that all prison wives is real. I'm not going to let that misconception that people don't cheat. So the reason why I brought that up, right, is because, yeah, if you consider FaceTime sex, then a nigga done had a couple one-night stands. And then you get bored, just like on the streets. If you really want a female, because females are worth something, man, women can move mountains. And they can change a man, too. I done seen dudes real grimy, real dirt niggas, and they meet a female, and all of a sudden they going to church and everything, changing everything, trying to get that parole. But what I'm saying is, I feel like women are worth a lot, but you're not going to get a female at her potential unless you can get in her head. So you got to talk, you got to communicate, you can build an emotional bond with a female about conversation.
So you were kind of a player, a little womanizer. What made you want to start writing these books? What made you think, oh, I'm going to write a book about women liking bad boys?
Okay, that was Mike's idea. Okay, so at the beginning, everybody basically wrote what they wanted to write. And another thing is, most writers, their first book is going to be autobiographical in nature. So you're going to write what you know. But we was writing urban novels, except for that How to Hustle and Win, Sex, Money, Murder edition. That was kind of like a self-help. And that was one of the first ones that TCB put out. But we was writing urban novels, and Mike realized that there's a business aspect to all this shit. Us as writers, we come into the shit as an artist. He looked at the math, and he was like, oh shit, self-help books sell more than these fictional books. So he had these ideas, and he kept like shopping them to different authors and shit. Nobody wanted to do it. He hollered at me, and I was like, bet. That's where Pretty Girls Love Bad Boys and Inmates Raw Law, How to Sue When Your Rights Are Violated, and they were published at the same time. I ran with it. Like, he's like, hey, okay, this is what surprised him when it was done. He wanted me to write a pen pal book, how to get pen pals, right? But I flipped it. I didn't just say how to get them. I said how to keep them. So I put poems in that book. I put pre-written letters, and I put some psychological shit in on, like, how to get at these female COs. So, yeah, that's where I had people contact me before. Several different women have contacted me on my tablet talking about, I'm a manipulator and I'm teaching this and that. But what you guys don't get is, I'm telling you, a lot of guys, man, first of all, we come from broken homes, broken families. Me, for instance, when I was out, I used to go to the club every weekend just to get some pussy. And it was very easy for me to get what I want. So then when I got locked up years later, because basically when you're pushing a certain way on the street, these females, you don't got to talk. You don't got to game her up. You don't got to do nothing. She finna give it to you anyway. So when I got locked up, I remember specifically it was this that worked in our building. She always walked by. She'd be like, hey, pretty boy. Hey, pretty boy. And she talked to me on this last week, called me over there. So if she would want to talk to me, sometimes I couldn't even talk. I didn't know what to say to her. I did not know how to have small talk with a female. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I said some stupid ass shit to her. And she was like, yeah, Like, she was liking me. But then I said, that's another thing I learned too. A person could be a woman. Anybody could be beautiful, handsome as fuck. They fit all the criteria, but they can open their mouth and make themselves ugly, make themselves gross. And that's what I had did. I started realizing the more and more I was in prison and the interaction with nurses, with female CEOs, like, man, they want to talk. And the nigga don't, like, I could talk to my baby mama. I could talk to you if I know you, but as far as me just giving random, so that's another thing. Like, that's how people are. So that's what them books was about. when they get to copying the letters directly out the book and sending it to females, I guess you could say that that's manipulating, or it could be a cheat code. I don't know. But yeah, so that's how I started writing it. But then later, I had books with a woman called Debbie out of Hawaii. She's actually a doctor too. She was writing a book. In her research, she seen my book, and this lady tracked me down. I'm talking about, in that book, I told people to go to writerprisoner.com. Me and her, I got to arguing with her. So me and Debbie over there arguing. Like that day, we was going back and forth on the JPEG tablet. Back and forth, back and forth. And at the time, I really didn't have no female. I hadn't had no female in a lot of years, so I wasn't used to texting with a woman like back to back to back, but I didn't give a fuck. But I was arguing with her, and then something hit me, because I'm the type of person, man, I see things from 3 different point of views. I try my hardest. Whenever a situation presents itself to me, I'm going to try to look at it from my point of view, from the female's point of view, the dude's point of view, and then a whole nother view. So when she was arguing with me, I'm like, man, I said, man, you and me could do a blog. You know, this was a while back. I was talking blog and shit, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, we could do a blog. You're saying a whole lot of shit on that side, and I'm saying a whole lot, and bam, I'm talking about within a month, we had a little website. But I got to be real with you, man. Okay, I've been down like 20 years.
Okay.
And the woman I had when I first failed, she ended up leaving me after like 2.5 years. So a lot of that time was done with no female, no nothing. Yeah. I mean, it was a little shit with, like I said, little COs and nurses and shit. So it was theory, and the shit sound good. I say that shit's theory because when I was writing the books with Debbie, I see relationships, especially between prisoners, people on the street. I'm more like in depth in that shit now.
And do you still talk to her?
Do I still talk to Debbie? Yeah. You know what? That lady's crazy, man. You know what, man? I don't know if I should. I said I was gonna be real.
You don't want to tell me now?
No, I can, because but the thing is, I don't like talking bad, and I'm about to talk bad about this lady, right? And I don't like talking bad.
Okay, we'll leave it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, all I know is that she tapped in recently. This is another thing, man. Oh my God, with her, I could go. That was so toxic. But it's funny because she was tapped in. I forgot to tell y'all that when she tapped in with all that arguing shit, it was COVID. Oh. And she's like a teacher, like she teaches university, so she was having to do a lot of group calls for her teaching and whatever. She wasn't even teaching really. She was like running some shit high in the education department out there. Okay. So when COVID ended, all of a sudden she moves to LA, and now the arguments start. And I'm talking about she arguing because I fell asleep and I didn't call at a certain time. She's saying I'm cheating, which I was, but it was because she argued. And all kinds of shit, right? But yeah, I'm not saying that she was like, but I'm saying that she was starting a bunch of fake ass fights. And I kept telling her, you starting this shit for nothing. Like, what's wrong with you? So we ended up breaking up. And it's funny because we ended up talking a couple years later, and I told her, like, man, just be real with me, man. I always felt like you was starting shit, and she finally was honest. And I kind of hate her for what she did, but because she just got me for some bread, like, last year. That's why I was like, debating whether I should talk about it now, but she stole some money from me. But hella females do that. If I went in to tell you the thousands of dollars that I lost because females, you meet somebody that's really, really, really not gonna play with your money. But yeah, Gabby, man, I wrote some books with her, and basically she admitted to me that it was the end of COVID, and her love language is touch. So she ended up meeting somebody, and she just wanted to do that, so whatever. So basically she was gaslighting because she met somebody out there, which is fucked up. Yeah. And I'm just assuming that I'm not the only person that's ever happened to. And that's just fucked up. Like, if you really care about a dude, and this is my advice to same females that fuck with niggas in prison or anybody, man. If you really love that person, man, don't ever admit you cheated on them. Everybody's human. And everybody has them little soft things. Some people don't want some. Like, trust me, I know prison-wise, I have my own podcast. I interviewed a bunch of, so I learned these stereotypes that people think ain't really real. But I know that a lot of them have issues. That you've been in domestic violence issues, or you might have a little girl and you're not with your men, so you don't want her to be around another man. So many different issues drive females to seek relationships with her. And I get that. But cheat, do not tell your man. Do not. I'm talking about go to the death with that. You know what I'm saying? Please go to the depth with that, because I'll tell a female, man, I got this life sentence. I don't even care if you have sex or something. Like, don't let that come into between. And I remember I told you the game that I had was all theoretical. Yeah. So I used to argue with niggas in here. I remember being in the kitchen, and I used to like, man, I'm like, man, I got a life sentence. If you're a lifer, there's a few lifers, because I always stay on these level 4s. I ain't been off a level 4. You got a lot of time when you're on these levels.
Yeah.
So I remember arguing with people like that. I don't think that's cheating if you got life sentence and your girl has sex. Not one person agreed with me. Not one person. And then, man, I remember this one female, I kept telling her, I don't care if you have sex. I don't care if you have sex. I used to FaceTime with her every morning around 5 o'clock in the morning. I would wake her up. She'd get up, do her makeup, smoke some weed, whatever, get ready for her day. But one day I called her, right? Okay, I had just paid to get her eyebrows done. So she was feeling herself, right? She went to the bar that night. She didn't even call me back later on. Anyways, the next morning, I ended up calling her 5 o'clock in the morning. She's like walking. She's outside. So I'm like, damn, you already outside? What you doing? And she's like, oh, no, I'm just getting home. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, man, I met my ex. My ex was at the bar, and I ended up going back to his house and sleeping with him. And I'm like, damn, okay. And I try to joke with her, well, brush your teeth, bitch, before you talk to me. She went and brushed her teeth and shit, right? But that was just how I play at the same time. At the same time, that shit disgusted me.
Of
That
course.
shit destroyed the relationship. She kept telling me, like, you said it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did say it was okay. I did say it was cool. But
Don't
it's
tell
like,
me.
I don't want to. Yes, do not. And you don't understand how much leeway you got out there. I'm not saying take advantage. I won't buy a dude's sale and shit. I don't be looking at a nigga's sale. But when you chopping game with a nigga or whatever, niggas wake up and kiss them pictures. We love y'all.
Yeah. My husband has always said he wants to know if I do. It took me a really long time to get his trust.
Yeah,
You dated someone when you first went in to prison for 2.5 years, and then you said there was a long stint that you were single. Why were you
yeah.
single?
Like every few months, me and my baby mamas will write me or something.
Mm.
So like the first 6 years, I was periodically kept me in their back pocket. I'm still alone, but I'm just saying, man, these female COs or nurses or something like that, they working overtime. They spend a lot of time here. So sometimes if you get a job and you're working closely with them, you'll be spending more time with that person that they spending with their husband.
Mm.
So there was little situations where, but even that's not healthy because a lot of us, we're not in our right mind in here. Just imagine somebody like me, I had been locked up a long time, no cell phone. I was out of touch. I called the family every once in a while, but it was times that I didn't even ask for the phone because I got so entrenched in just living in prison. And it was like, what am I going to even talk to them about? I don't even have nothing to talk about with somebody on the street. I wouldn't even call homies. And niggas would get mad because I won't even check in with homies. But anyway, it's certain female COs and nurses and so they'll come and they'll flirt with you. And they do that shit for several different reasons. One lady, she work in the kitchen. What she do is she'll find an alpha male in the kitchen and flirt with him. She'll flirt with him where nobody can see. She'll call you like she's mad when you go in the office. She got her legs wide open. She'll probably rub up against you, something like that. But she's only doing it to control you because you're the alpha, so you can control everybody else. I was in love with that lady. I'm talking about in love. Like, I'm talking about infatuated. That's all I would talk about. Niggas thought I was crazy because here's another thing. She's so smooth that nobody else going to see what she's doing. She's never going to slip. You can't even say that you talking to her because nobody's going to believe you because of the way she is. But anyway, after I met Debbie, and at that time I started through the females and shit, man, I seen her, and I looked at her, and I was like, that bitch ugly than a motherfucker, man. And it's just a trip because before I started socializing with different females, I had been locked up so long that I didn't even see she was the most beautiful woman in the world. Then when I started seeing other people, I was like, man, this bitch, man, manipulating. But anyways, my point is, there's a lot of people in here like that. We don't have, man, I haven't got no visit in like 10 years.
Did you ever meet Debbie?
We did the little computer business during COVID, so I know what she looked like.
What about conjugals?
Yeah, well, shit. When I first failed, California, the lifers, we wasn't allowed to get conjugals. And then recently, they gave the LWOP conjugals. I can get conjugals, but then I can't. Like, I just got conjugals put for 5 years.
No.
Yeah, you just gonna lose your conjugals. Yeah, and I stay with it because I run a company. Like, I got my KG magazine, KG Enterprise. I created my magazine from scratch. So, plus, I be doing my extracurriculars, so I got to check the money. And, man, my kids, I like to sleep on the phone with a female, put you on FaceTime and just to sleep. That's my intimacy. I can get motherfucking face-to-face visits. You can hug and kiss. I can never keep a relationship for them. I can never, for some reason, every relationship I get in, I'm just gonna be a horrible boyfriend or something, man. Like, I'm just gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even be caring. I don't think I can love.
You haven't had an in-person visit in 10 years?
Well, my sister showed up. My sister showed up out the blue like 10 years ago. Yeah, she came to see. But my family, you got to think, man, I got extradited back out here. So a lot of my family over the years had moved.
Oh, wow.
But I recently, this girl named Sugar Bee, And she came up here, and oh my God, I got dressed. She drove 3.5 hours and told her I wasn't allowed to give in. Called her again. I said, man, that's a lie. But she didn't know me like that. We had just met like about 2 months earlier. And then here's what happened. When I had got out the shoe, when you're in the shoe, you can't get face-to-face contact visit.
Yeah.
So when I got out the shoe, my last serious shoe was literally about 10 years ago. They never fixed it in the computer that I got my visits back. I don't even know how they let my sister in, because I kept telling my sister can't see me. There was no, so it was a mistake that they fixed that day. Okay, so I was talking to Sugar Bee right after I was like going through a rough ass breakup. America, my girl America, like love her, but we had a fucked up breakup. So I started talking to Sugar Bee, a little Hispanic woman out of Southern California. And then while I'm talking to Sugar Bee, man, one of my baby mamas tapped in that I hadn't talked to in 10 years. I hadn't talked to her. But that didn't work. Like, we chilled for a couple months, probably about 6-7 months. And yeah, that didn't work.
So the Sugar Bee never came back?
I don't even, actually, I just talked to Sugar Bee last night, right? No, she never came back because I was trying to work it out with my baby. It's like fucked up because it's almost like my baby mama came, like I had some shit going on. I'm talking about Sugar Bee had they turned her away, they made a mistake, but still on the team. But then my baby mama came, and me being hella honest, I'm telling her, like, look, man, can't be with you until figure out what's going on with me in America. So when me and America finally broke up, so then when she popped in, I'm like, oh my God. Because I had shit going on with Sugar Bee. But I mean,
have you ever been on a pen pal site yourself?
Yeah, I have been on pen pal sites, but that shit don't work. Not for me.
Why not?
Y'all need to check out my social media, King Guru Book, with the underscore, right? You can see what I look like. I don't think I'm an ugly nigga. You know what I'm saying? I think I look good. But it's like, this shit just don't, you know what I'm saying? The pen pals don't work.
They don't work for you. But don't recommend them in your books?
What do you mean, recommend what? The pen pal?
Yeah. Isn't it in your books?
Now, let me tell you something about recommending. Yes, they are definitely in my books, and they work for people. They definitely work for people, even though them books was written a while back, and now I would say more like due to prison groups on Facebook and shit like that, right? But what I'm saying is I did recommend them because I've seen people find love. Yeah. I've seen people find anything that they want on writerprisoner.com. I've seen people get 20, 30 letters, and they got to do it like at work. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a file on every single person. But yeah, they work.
They work, just not for you.
But you know what I chalked it up as? My intentions wasn't right. So I don't think the universe was letting me catch something.
100%.
You know?
I'm glad you caught that.
Like,
I believe that.
Yeah. I'm definitely a believer in the universe and karma. That's why I try to be honest. You go in there trying to get over on somebody.
I mean, now you're honest. Because you just said you had bad intention.
Yeah, back then. Okay. If we're going to talk about the subject of anybody trying to get over, trying to get money, you guys got to understand that if you've never been in struggle mode, if you've never been in the most horrible conditions where you don't know where your next meal going to come from, you don't have nobody. Like, we're in here sometimes, you don't talk on the phone because you don't have nobody to call. You don't get no letters because ain't nobody writing you. You can't go to the store because nobody's sending you no money.
Yeah.
Like, that puts somebody in survival mode. So they will do things that you wouldn't do otherwise. Mm-hmm. And that's why you got dudes in here writing like homosexuals and acting like they're gay, even though they're not gay, because they're doing it for the money.
Yeah.
But if they had a bag themselves, they would never do no shit like that. I say that to, like, if you meet somebody like that, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to give them your bag, but you're going to have to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I'm telling you, I'm so much different right now. I used to be one of them, like, really depending on somebody to put food on my table. And now my kids is calling me when they need rent money.
You've touched on it a little bit already on dating someone who's got life without parole or a really lengthy sentence. But what would you tell a woman who is dating someone like me? I'm married to someone who's got a life sentence. What would you tell a woman who is dating someone with a lengthy sentence? Should they do it?
Man, you can't tell your heart when to love and when not to love. That's something I know. I could give you all type of little smart answers for that and all that, but in all actuality, you can love anybody, and you don't always gotta love them in person. You know what I'm saying? So if you got somebody, some of the lifers here, man, we be the realest niggas on earth. We be intelligent, and sometimes your back is against the wall, man. If you give a person a chance and you could change their life, females got a lot of power. You could change a person's life, but you got to be strong too. There's so many aspects to this shit, man. Like, you ask me, I'll probably give you an answer. But what I'm saying is, I would say, yeah, man, lifers, man, we going through it. This shit's fucked up. You know how much I cry? and don't nobody know I cry. I mentioned a couple of things and I teared up. People don't see that. Like, we're in pain. This shit hurts. This shit hurts when your daughter might be getting abused by somebody, you can't help her, or your baby mama can't even pay her rent, so she got to be with a dude that's treating her bad just so she can have a roof over your kid's head, or somebody taking advantage of your mother because she's elderly and you can't go defend her, or people taking advantage of you, stealing money, and you can't do nothing because your hands are tied. Like, we go through it, and that's only what I'm saying out there. You guys don't even see what the fuck is going on in here. Man, I'm at a prison with a level 4 180. It's be riots, it be stabbing. It's like, you right now, I almost got in with a nigga just to go get my package. This shit ain't cool. So, like, if you can love somebody, you could be the most realest female in the world, man. Give yourself to a man that ain't got nobody. Man, I salute all women that's really doing it. So, yes, if you have somebody that's doing it, like I said, give them a chance. And put it like this, too. In the real world, what's guaranteed that you're going to be with your current boyfriend forever? There's no guarantee. You might meet somebody, only be with them 3 months. You might be with them 5, 10, 15 years, and it be over. Live a little, because I'm telling you, if you get a sincere one, like, you get somebody, you go see that person, you're going to be the only person that person sees. When that person wakes up, he's going to be thinking about you. When he's talking to niggas, he's quoting shit you done said. So, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We realest ones in the system.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that you touched on that's important is that a lot of people think just because you're holding them down and you're sending them money that they're using you. But there's a lot of times where it's just necessity, and it doesn't mean that they don't love you or it's not genuine.
Okay, this is what I say about that, right? First of all, fuck what everybody else talking about. Because it's so easy. Oh, I should have, would have, could have. If it was me, I would have did this. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Or you just getting taken advantage of. Nah, what I would recommend, right? No, there's not people that's all taking advantage of y'all. No. It's not as much as you think. It's like this. These people, when they feed us this food, we just went on lockdown. Man, these dudes lost weight because they're on the state food. This state food is not going to fill a grown man up. You're going to be hungry. And then hustling in prison, you could get your shit. I mean, man, you ask me about hustling and shit. I get it. But not everybody like me. And it's hard to get paid by niggas. So that opens up problems. All I can recommend is, when it comes to the financial aspect of it, understand that we can't do for ourselves. Don't think because you see 1 or 2 of us, or maybe a few of us got cell phones and shit, don't think that just means we all doing it like that. It's just like the real world. Some people rich, some people poor. Come up with a budget. Come up with, like, listen, I'm willing to give you this every month. If I do this, and I can get you a package quarterly, but if we'll cut into our business. So if I'm going to come visit you, I can only spend this on this month. Make a budget and stick by it. And now I'm giving y'all game, and I don't give a fuck. That's what I do. Motherfuckers get talking about sending cash here, send Zelle there. Say, no, I'll put money on your books and I'll buy you packages. But all that other shit, I'm telling you, it's just going to your local drug dealer.
Yeah. Me and AJ are at good spots. Like, both of our significant others don't ever ask for money. They didn't need money. It's hard for us because we want to say it does exist and you're allowed to give money and it's okay to put people in their book. So I get what you're saying. It is really real. And people get judged all the time because of that.
We're struggling.
I want to know if you're still working on books. Are you still writing? Except for your magazine.
Hey, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, I did magazines. I got like 13 issues. If you go to madcloud.com and put in KG Magazine, you'll see my magazines. Basically for prisoners and shit. But the books, I dropped like 7 books last year. In 2024, 7 King Guru books came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did a lot of work last year and I got burnt out. So I took a little break, just be chilling and shit. But right now, I've been working on, I got all them books out the way, man. Let me see, just last year, I had Psychological Seductions, book 1 and 2 come out. I had Guns N' Roses, books 1, 2, and come out. The Mob Father, that came out. Life and Times of Mac came out. And is that 7? I think that's 7. Right now, I got this Nipsey Hussle book. It's based on Nipsey Hussle's life. Like, I got all the facts. I did hella research, but I wrote it as an urban novel. So I added, it's almost like historical fiction. Cool. But yeah, I've been working on that and some other shit I might be writing up under a different name soon. Oh. So, like, yeah, I've been working.
What's your favorite book that you've written?
That I wrote?
Yeah.
See, my favorite book was, I would say, The Devils and Demons, which was originally Underworldzilla. I think those were the funnest ones because those were my urban novels, and I based all the stories on real life shit. So,
cool.
Them books, yeah, that's what got me my respect out there.
Oh, did it? And if someone's loved one that's incarcerated wants to start writing and publishing, what's your biggest piece of advice?
Read books on how to write books.
Oh, good.
This is one of my biggest things. Do not think that you could just sit down and write a book. Everybody says, oh, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. Man, go get you some books that teach you. I have a book called How to Write Urban Novels for Money and Fame. Get that book, please, because there's a craft, right? There's a science to it. There's a math to it. Like, you got to think, the first 30 pages, I got to give you my character, my setting, my time. I'm going to give you all of that. I'm going to put you in the passenger seat and you're going to know the main character. But I'm also going to give you whatever he's striving for. You got to know all of that. And then you got to build characters, and you never want to leave your characters in a blank room. I write all 5 senses. When you're reading, you're going to hear something. You're going to smell, you're going to taste that food that she's eating, and you're going to hear the whispers behind your back. You feel me?
Yeah.
There's certain things like just read books on how to write books.
That is awesome. I love that advice. Mr. King Guru, I don't think I've laughed so much in an interview before. I think there's going to be a lot of ladies listening, and they're going to want to know if you're single. Where are you at?
I'm single, but no, I'm cool. I do not want, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let the universe find me one.
Okay. And how do they find you and your books?
All right. All my books is like on Barnes & Nobles or Amazon.com. Then you could also go to cellblock.net, cellblock.net. You're going to have the online magazine on there. There's blogs. There's all the Cell Block's books. Anything a prisoner could want is going to be, if you go to cellblock.net. You can go to MagCloud, M-A-G, cloud.com, and put in KG Magazine for my magazine. You got like a little TikTok with some nice little funny little skits I did in the kitchen with people. Was caged_minds on TikTok. It got like 300,000 views or something. And then my boss, not the CO, but the freestyle, she came in and she waved to his on, and she was like, what the hell was y'all doing? Like, somebody told me that my crew was on TikTok, and when I seen it, she's like, that's what made it worse. I didn't even see y'all. Somebody else did. And then so they all know we be doing it.
So you got in trouble?
Yeah, I mean, shit, she laughed.
Is it hard to get a cell phone?
I mean, shit, they're expensive, and you got to be in like 3,000, 3,500. Wow. And then on Instagram, I'm King_Guru_books, King Guru Books. And I'm just here, man. That's it.
I'm sure there will be a part 2 if you're willing in a couple months to talk to us again. You've got some great insights, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, man. I love being part of all of this. I don't know. Let's keep doing it, man. Let's have fun, man. I'm here.
100%. I think AJ, when she hears this interview, she's going to want to interview you next. So
I will. I'm here, man. I'm in the building.
Okay. Thank you, Kangaroo. Take care.
All right. Bye. Okay, you too.